Alright, what's going on, people? We're back with another video. Now 2K has hinted what their next patch is coming up like, and I'm gonna take some of the blame for this next patch. We're gonna be talking about it here in this video. Alright, I don't know how much more of these videos I'm gonna do. I'm only really gonna address when I feel like there's a major thing coming that impacts people in the community. So if it's like a smaller hotfix, or unless it's something big, I won't be covering it. That being said, if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. We're dropping that 2K17 heat daily. And before we even get into the video, I want to address something. Pretty much every single time I cover a topic on 2K that I feel like needs a tweak or needs to be changed or needs to be patched, whatever it is, there's always somebody that says some shit like, well, it's a part of basketball, agent. Guys, I've been watching basketball since I was 4. I'm a sport management student at university. Everything I do revolves around sport. Believe me, I know the fundamentals of basketball. I don't need y'all to tell me that pick and rolls are a part of basketball. I'm well aware. Problem is, 2K isn't real life. And when 2K tries to simulate something in real life and they do it wrong, I'ma call them out on it. So I made a video a couple days back where I described that the screens were driving me crazy. Not my team, not play now, the screen and rolls. That's an effective way to play basketball. It always should be. I'm talking about when 5, 4, 3 users, when you're playing Park or Pro-Am, set screens at the top of the key, and then they just start moving around with their screens. And then one person just runs around the three-point line like this until brick wall makes somebody flop. That's my gripe. So it's not even that there's 3 or 4 screens being picked. Like, you can deal with that. If you know how to play and your team can rotate, you can deal with an excessive amount of screens each play. It's an annoying way, you know, it's an annoying way to play defense, but you can deal with it. But when those same people are moving around, when they are moving around, when they are walking with their screen as if they're traveling to a fucking away game, then there's a problem. So all the people who fucking turn around and tell me, agent, pick and rolls, I mean screens, that's a part of basketball. Yeah, is moving screens, is that also a part of basketball? And this is where a smart ass in the comment be talking about, hey, agent, actually Golden State gets away with it. No, it isn't, alright? Shut up. No, stop. And so, movies, it's not a fucking part of basketball, alright guys? So, I put out a video, and when I put out that video lots of times, not all the time, it tweets out on my Twitter saying, hey guys, Twitter, just uploaded, go check it out. So about a day later, I got a response from LD2K, who's one of the community managers, saying, our team is looking into this one. I agree with the few points on here. Now, if it wasn't already obvious that 2K is watching my channel and finding some shit to patch, then it really is now, because it's pretty literal. I don't think they're gonna patch screens. I get that a lockdown defender should be the best at moving around screens, but no matter which way you look at it, there's no way you can justify a moving screen, and that's what we have to deal with playing online. Imagine 3 users across a three-point line setting moving screens, and you have to guard a sharpshooter. Can you imagine how impossible that rotation is? Because no matter which way you look at it, if they got brick wall and bruiser and they're moving around, like they're just fucking walking around like a bunch of penguins setting their screens, it's like you're gonna get hit on the screen and there's no call for it. There's no moving screen call whatsoever on the Park. You are literally fucked if somebody's moving around on the Park. There's nothing that can be called. It's crazy. As a ball handler, you have to wait for the person that's setting the screen to set it before you move. If you move before the screen is set, that's why they call it setting the screen, because you're set. It's not moving the screen, it's setting the screen. Once it's set, you can move around the screen. That's how it works. Now in real life, it's challenging to get the right look on the players about perspective. Did he really move on the screen? In real life, it's a difficult call to make a lot of the time, so it's not called. And a lot of the time it is called, and players know better than to move around with screens. Ball handlers know better than to move before the screen is set. That being said, NBA 2K is a fucking video game, so there should be no reason they don't always get it right. Imagine if they had that. You know how Madden will purposely make a bad call sometimes just so you can use one of your challenge flags? I challenge this play. I was over the first. There's no challenges in basketball. There's no reason this call should be missed. And so they'll be addressing that. Thank the Lord, because playing against 3-4 users online is a misery when they're moving around with their screens. Now granted, I use it. If they put it in the game and everybody else around me is using it, I will use it to my best. Like, I can win games using this bullshit method. It's not like I can't use it so I want it banned. I can use this better than most of you can. So it's not like I'm saying, oh, I want to be better at the game, please nerf everybody else. That's not what I'm worried about. I'm worried about playing a game that makes sense. And right now, I can utilize this to win games. It just doesn't make sense. So that's the first thing that they're going to be addressing. Now, if you guys aren't already following Mike Wang on Twitter, he seems like he's the one that's going to be taking a lot of heat for this kind of stuff. So whenever the developers make some sort of tweak or hotfix or new patches coming out, you can expect Mike Wang to be talking about it. And so if you guys watched my videos a few days back where I described that Mike Wang pretty much made it easier for people to make shots until the shot meter glitch is addressed. So he talked about when Xbox One gets his, I think it was called the 1.04, the latest patch that just hit PS4. When Xbox One gets that patch, it seems as if the shot meter is going to be fixed, the glitch is going to be gone, and so the band-aid fix that they did that made it easier for people to make shots will also be gone. So if you weren't, I never really experienced too much of the shot meter glitch, so if you're me and you're still shooting terrible releases after this fix, then it's going to be a greater chance of you missing. And so it's going to be more challenging to hit shots pretty much. That's basically what he's trying to say. So the tweet exactly said, fair warning, shot timing will become more difficult soon. It's too easy right now because I had to compensate for the shot meter glitch. That's true. He followed up by saying, when I undo my band-aid fix, you will see a noticeable drop in the frequency of green releases, so enjoy them while they last. Which is crazy because even you already patched the green releases, 2K. I mean, I showed it time and time again on videos where it'll be 1 out of every 5 times I get a perfect release that I actually get the green. It drives me crazy that you can release the ball perfectly and 2K is like, no, next time though, alright? Next time, I'll give it, it was perfect, but next time. Anyway, it's something you gotta get over. It's been, that shit drive me crazy sometimes. I see some fucking shot creators balling out at 3-point line and some, well, not even standing shots. And you'll, I saw a slasher hit 2 in a row on us the other day. I was like, what the fuck? He has a 60 standing 3, y'all. Anyway, Mike Wang followed up by saying sharpshooters will be just fine, but nobody should be averaging 80% plus from the 3-point range. But you're wrong, Mike Wang. Mike Wang, if I'm open from 3 and all my shots are open, you're telling me if nobody contests me and I'm open that I shouldn't be averaging 80%? Is that what you're telling me? I mean, to put it this way, even bad shooters, even shooters you consider average, for example, like Al-Farouq Aminu, even that guy will make 9 out of 10 in practice. Like, these shooters in the NBA perform well in practice because when they're in practice, there's nobody out there to contest them. And so maybe sometimes there is, and you know, they simulate it, but for the most part, it's like they're shooting in practices. There's no defense if you're just shooting around, right? You're telling me a sharpshooter with a max 3-point shot, Hall of Fame badges. By the way, Hall of Fame is meant to be you're one of the best in NBA history. That's what the Hall of Fame badge is meant to signify. You're telling me that that person can't shoot 80% if he was point blank open all game? Because there are some people that just leave you point blank open. You're like, what are you thinking? Anyway, I don't think he should be shooting like 60-70% on contests. I mean, there are players who shoot 50% contested in the NBA, and that's possible in 2K. So I get that they're trying to make it realistic, but they're trying to make it realistic by just hurting shooters' abilities to make shots, regardless of the defense. And maybe that's the part that bothers me, is the regardless of the defense part. Is like, so you're telling me, like, even if they play bad defense, like, this is the most I can do? They randomized it. Well, at the end of the day, I know they're not gonna. There's no way they're gonna buff the sharpshooters and make them the way they were before. I understand that when the game first launched, they were ridiculous. You patched it, they were alright. You patched it again, they were garbage. You hotfixed it, they got a little bit better. So y'all gotta make up your minds on what the fuck you want the sharpshooter to be. And not just the sharpshooter, that's the shot creator, that's the playmaker. Any person with over a 70 shot 3, you gotta decide how much shots you really want them to make, because the more you change it, it's like, yo, we don't know what the fuck to think. So, by the way, this is more like a positive video because I feel like they're hitting some of the main points that they should have already been hit, but I mean, I'll take it now. Mike Wang follows up by saying pass speeds. Yes, thank you, pass speeds. Thank the Lord, man. Some of these some beach volleyball passes that take a century to get there so the lockdown defenders can jump in the way and intercept the ball like Richard Sherman. Ridiculous. Pass speeds, moving screens, and defense are being looked at as well. And yes, we know about the relentless finisher issue. We'll fix ASAP. These are some big problems, alright? So they said they were gonna fix the shot meter glitch. Don't know why I was in the game. It's a pretty fundamental part of 2K, but they're fixing it. Pass speeds. This has been a problem in 2K last year as well, where you throw some like beach volleyball type shit. The ball will just take a century to get to its destination. Like, who passes a ball that slow? Especially when you got playmakers who have max playmaking. You're telling me they can't throw bullets? Anyway, they said that's being fixed. Moving screens, a huge part of the reason why sharpshooters were overpowered is because they were getting open. And why were they getting open? Because there were screens that were running around getting them open. And so that's being addressed, another big one. And they said defense is being looked at as well. That's something the community, and especially me, We've been asking for this shit. We understand there's lockdown defenders and that they have to have their value. But the reason that sharpshooters dominate, or you'll see post scorers dominate, or you'll see a slasher dominate on the Pro-Am is because the defense is ass. And so you can be an amazing defender and lock down slashers, for example, right? You can. But if you're facing a top 1% player, you're facing one of these guys who are amazing at park, who got the dribble moves on point, or you're facing one of the top teams in Pro-Am, no matter what the fuck you do defensively, they will get by you. And it's because no archetype can play proper defense except the defensive. And it makes sense. So I understand maybe 2K what theoretically the archetype makes a lot of sense theoretically. But in practice, there are so many problems that are frustrating to deal with when you get into the game. Yo, all I know is 2K16 was trash on release, alright? Me and Lo have been having debates on whether 2K16 or 2K17 had the worst launch. He thinks 2K17 has a way worse launch. I think 2K16 did. But altogether, both games, and it's been like this for a lot of games, and it's a lot of games where they'll just come out, game testers don't know what the fuck they were doing, so the publisher releases this game, and then we get on the game, and we're like, yo, y'all couldn't fucking see this before? Who was game testing this? A lot of y'all are being mad at 2K like it's their fault. Like 2K, they developed the game, right? And then they develop the game and they send it to the game testers. Now it's the game testers' responsibility to turn around and be like, hey, I recommend this course of action right here because we were playing my career and every single time we pass half court after we get 20 points, we get double team. That's their responsibility to say that. And so if the game testers aren't fucking doing their job, we have to spend the first few months of the game's launch figuring it out for ourselves. It's like a public game test for the first few months until it hits December. And then by December time, usually the game will be smoothed out. That's 2K16 got a lot better by December time and it became a lot more fun to play. I started playing it a lot more. And so that's just the way it is. Unfortunately nowadays, y'all, the games are fucking huge. There's gonna be problems that game testers can't see. And then when it comes out, we just have to deal with the bullshit. Mike Wang followed up by tweeting, it's not going to be as drastic as some of you think. I'm just prepping you all that the timing band-aid is going away after. So he's basically saying after Xbox gets his patch, they're going to hotfix on the PS4. And so the band-aid's going to go away. The shot meter glitch is also going to be fixed. And then he follows up with his last tweet by saying, just addressing those who are saying that shooting is too easy and field goal percentages are too high. I'm aware of that. So I think they're fixing some huge problems, but there's an underlying problem that's still nagging at me, and it's the fact that offensive archetypes aren't overpowered. The field goal percentage is high because there's only one archetype that can lock these guys down. And trust me, I've been up against the lockdown defender a couple times now. I don't see him too often, but every time I go up against him, it's a misery because you can't dribble near them. You always have to hold L2 and protect the ball, and it makes sense. That's what they're good at. I respect that. But I'm saying you have to understand that the problem isn't people are too good offensively. It's that you can't perform defensively. Now you can try and make do with what you have and you'll do a pretty good job if you're a really good player. But you get matched up against someone just as good as you and you're getting sauced no matter how hard you try. That's just the way it is. So I'm out. This video is probably already really long. I'm gonna leave it at that. Probably gonna I need to start doing some more gameplay videos because I got the gameplay locked and loaded. I got some exciting games for y'all, so I'm excited to upload some of those. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you guys are new. You guys want to see more 2K17 content. I'm gonna catch y'all in the next video. I'm out. Peace.